Hi, this is going to be another guide for the Knight's Cavalry, which spawns at night in the Weeping Peninsula. And in terms of his damage, he's most susceptible to and vulnerable to pierce damage, which is things like this lance here, which does pierce damage here. Spear partisan also does pierce damage. And you have some weapons like the Uchi Katana, which also has a slash, but it has certain moves that do pierce damage. So if I show that off, it's the charged R2 one-handed does pierce damage. So when you have a one-handed, you can do a pierce attack like that. But the rest of the moveset is slash, and he is fairly resistant to slash. He's resistant to standard, and he's resistant to strike damage. So you really want to be going for pierce ideally, but it's just that's just the best option there. But you can do it with any weapon. So I'm going to stick with my scythe for the time being, just to show off his moveset. In terms of greases, he is very vulnerable to lightning grease. So lightning grease would be the best one to use. So yeah, lightning grease over here would be the best one to use. He's vulnerable to that, but he's fairly resistant to fire, magic, and holy. He's equally resistant. Sorry about the noise in the background. So in terms of status conditions, he's very vulnerable to poison, and he's very vulnerable to scarlet rot. He is susceptible to bleed and also frost, but he's not as vulnerable to those as he is to poison and bleed. Now, in terms of starting off, I have the bandit boots equipped, so they nullify the sound of my footsteps, so I can actually just sneak up behind him and do a charge attack, but I was a bit slow there, but that is possible to do that, to start off the battle, just to get an extra free hit on him. In terms of his moveset, I think when you're aiming on him, I think it's easier to kill his horse first. So you want to aim on his horse. I think it's just easier to avoid his attacks that way. That charge that he does is it's relatively easy to punish. So if he does it again, I should show that off. But most of his attacks, when you go for a swing, so this one here, if you just lock off or move back and then just hit him like that, that's probably the best way to do that. Most of his attacks is quite difficult to punish from this angle because his horse is very quick to react. I'll show you what I mean. So, okay, this is a very punishable attack when he slams it there, but even then, his horse just moves in and does like a side charge, and that's very difficult. But this move here, I'd say that is the easiest one to punish without getting any hits. So if you want to just keep waiting for that move and then running back, that's probably the easiest way to do it, but you'd have to be very patient depending on like the weapon. This weapon hasn't been upgraded at all, so depending on your weapon, this one is quite punishable, as I mentioned earlier, so just want to roll out the way. So yeah, that's probably the best thing to do in terms of actually fighting him. Just wait for that attack, punish. But yeah, then again, like if you're too slow, sometimes he will use the side charge on his horse and then follow up, and that really is quite annoying. I think in terms of dodging that move, the best way to avoid that is just, instead of going for his so just bear with me 1 second. Whenever you die, you have to pass time until nightfall again. And let me just allocate some flasks here. Okay, so let me see if I can show the sneak attack off. So I just want to go behind him, and it should just give me enough time to charge up an R2 and hit him. So again, this is the most punishable attack. You just lock off there, hit him, and move out the way. So now, that side charge that he does with his horse, I think the best way to avoid it probably is to try and aim for either straight ahead on the head of the horse or to his left, so your right. So you want to lean to the other side in which he's not holding his mace. But the thing with that is that he does a very quick attack with the mace when you aim for that side. So you just have to be careful. This is quite punishable too. Normally it is. Just depends on your positioning. So yeah, I want to try and aim for this side, but he seems like he knows that, and he's much more aggressive with this attacks. This attack here is probably again the easiest one to go for. So you just have to be patient. Again, like I said, if you have a low level weapon. Now I'm just going to show you like one of the more easier strategies to use against him, because he is vulnerable to poison. If I just run off now, he's also very vulnerable, I find, to the stealth mechanic. So you can just run and hide from him in some grass here. Let me see if I can just show that off. But yeah, if he sees you doing it, he just stares you down menacingly sometimes. So let's see, he's still after me. I'm just crouching here for a bit, and then I'll run off and then crouch down there. Okay, yeah, that wasn't as effective, but I'll show you the stealth now. So for this next technique, I think this is the most easiest. This like the strategy that you can use to exploit him essentially. You can get the poison mist incantation just up, not up there, but if you just follow it around here. Down here there's going to be a scarab, like straight ahead. If you go in that direction, there'll be a scarab and you can kill it and you can get the poison mist incantation. Obviously to do that you're going to have enough points invested in faith, but that would be the easiest way to exploit him. Now I have the Ash of War here poison mist, which I got from Khalid. That is kind of works the same, as it's not as effective, so you can do that also. So let me show how it looks like with that method. And so what I'm going to be doing here is if you purchase, oh, I lost all my souls, lost all my runes even. Okay, if you purchase the Kukri here, purchase some of those, and if I go ahead and equip that, and just wait for him to come through here. So what I'm going to be doing is there's two ways to do it. There's one way where you can just poison him and then run back to where that post is, where you can get the map fragment, and that will make him despawn normally and reappear here, and then you can keep doing that, and that's one way to do it. Another way is just to get his attention with, if you have like a bow, this kind of helps as well. So I use the bow and then I throw one of the kukris, and that will get his attention, and he stands there for ages after that. So let's see if I can do it again here. Throw down a kukri, he's going to go towards it, and now he will just stand there like that for a very long time. And if you have the poison mist, you can just poison mist him and wait for him to die essentially from the poison. So there I've poisoned his horse, and he's poisoned as well. But if you get too close with the Ash of War poison mist, it will you'll get detected. But with the actual incantation poison mist, you can pretty much stand as close as you want and do that. So yeah, you can just do that and then wait, and then whoops. So yeah, that's what you don't want to do for his timer to run out. So now I'm just going to die and then show you how to do that again more effectively. So before he detects me, what I want to do is I want to throw another kukri in front of him to distract him again. So show that, and then you can keep doing that and just chain it as long as you don't get into his sight of vision. It should be fairly straightforward. So here, I'll try it down here this time. So I'm just going to throw the kukri there using the bow to aim. So now his attention's fixed on that, and I'm just going to poison him. now his horse is poisoned, but I want to get poison on him as well. Okay, there you go. And then switch to my bow, or you can just throw it if you've got good aim, and just throw one of those. And now he's distracted again, and you just keep doing that. Just wait for the poison to go off, and then just throw another one down. Now, ideally, if you want to be more cautious with this strategy, you just hide in a bush as well. But like I said, don't get into his sight of vision, or it will trigger him. So yeah, you just have to do that. I just see the poison's gone off now, and just wait for a bit. I think I'll just throw another one down just to stop him from moving. So yeah, just throw another one down, now he's ready. And then I just do it again. Just be careful not to get too close when you're doing it with the Ash of War. If you're doing it, like I said, with the Poison Mist incantation, it's a lot easier. And then yeah, and then you just want to throw another knife down there, and then he's just going to keep doing that. So that's probably the most easiest way, I think, to do it. Another method, again, this kind of relies sort of on the poison as well, is if I run away from him, if I run to around here, that sort of resets his location. So if I go back up, flee, I'm not sure what that looks like. No, it hasn't reset its location yet, just I think I need to go a bit further on. Alright, let me get his attention and then bring him down there, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so he's following me all the way up here, but he can't actually go any... Normally he can't actually go any further. Normally he just despawns here. Yeah, there you go. So he despawns, and then he respawns up there. And then you just go, and... you just go up. Get a cheeky shot, and then run away. Now, this is difficult. Obviously you can poison him at that point as well. This is difficult because it takes a while, you know. It's not as effective as the previous strategy I showed you. But if you don't have it, or don't want to invest into faith, or don't have this poison mist, you can just do that. So yeah, again, I'm just gonna go back. Sometimes he just does hang around there, and he doesn't want to despawn. He kind of figures out what you're trying to do. So like he's kind of doing it now. So he hasn't actually despawned, he's just running back, but he hasn't actually despawned, he's still aggroed onto me. Yeah, see, it's still, you want to get that animation where he actually like despawns back. Yeah, there you go, so that's the one that you want. And you just run up and then just hit him. Like I said, this is very time consuming, and it's definitely not the most effective way to do it, but it is one of those exploiting strategies if you want to do that. Okay, so now there's one more thing I want to show, is in terms of his vulnerabilities. I wasn't patient enough. Okay, I think I'm just gonna die here and then I'll start it from the beginning. If I throw one now, he'll see me because I'm in his line of sight, so I just want to move out of his line of sight and throw one down, and he'll move towards it. So this is going to be another strategy that you can use, but this one is a lot, again, it's quite difficult, but because you can essentially, what you can do is you can get him to go into the shots of the stone golem that shoots arrows from afar over there. Well, the problem is that golem he's got very bad accuracy, and to get him to actually hit the knight is really quite difficult. Because he actually actively aims away from the knight, what I found. The golem shots are dependent on where the knight is and where you're standing, so it's a bit difficult to do it, but it is possible to do that also. So he's shooting me now, so let me see if I wait here, it might be enough distance to get for the golem to shoot him. Now I see the golem's kind of just aiming around him. Whoops, I probably shouldn't have done that. Might be able to see me now. Okay, but just know that it is possible to actually to do that. I will show it off in a second. I'm just going to poison him because I want to show what the best thing to do is when he's off his horse. When you kill the horse and he's off his horse. He's actually very vulnerable to backstabs. So if you just essentially just make him swing at you and just stay out of his range a little bit and just go in for the backstab, that's probably the easiest way to kill him, I think, after that point. So hopefully I can get that golem to shoot him. Yeah, so that did very minor damage there, but that's because he wasn't exactly on the right spot. If you get like a direct hit, it does do a fair chunk of damage, but it is quite difficult to get him onto the right position because it is based on where you're standing and where he's standing. Let me see if I can do that. No. Okay, what you don't want to do is you don't want to take him past that point where that pillar is, because that will make him despawn. And then you have to do that again. Let's get him to stand over there for a sec. Oh, there we go. He's despawned, so, and then he'll respawn up there, so I can just do it again. So yeah, just know that it is possible to get him hit into the arrows. It's a bit tricky. So if you don't want to use the poison mist technique thing, but you want to exploit this guy, then that is a way to do it. So let me just do one last thing. He's going to turn around here, so I'll just wait for him here. realised I didn't allocated all my flasks into healing. Okay, that's okay. Should be able to kill his horse after this, and then I can show you what it looks like to fight him when he's off his horse. In this spawn. Okay. Okay, so as soon as he falls off his horse, you can just come in for repulse there, critical hit. Now look, so what you want to do, you just want to move back and go for backstabs. That was very poorly done, sorry. So like here, so he's going to swing, bait that out, and then go around and just go in for the backstab. And it's quite easy to do that with. So again, I'm just in this kind of range, bait out his move, and then just go in and then backstab. So yeah, that's pretty much the night. I think I just wanted to do some exploits just to show that off because I didn't see anyone else do it. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.